Shalom Aleichem, and welcome to our guest Torah teacher Eliakim. He's giving me background harmony, and we want to talk today about Aravos because tomorrow morning, we have this crazy minhag to take the little willow branches and beat them. The Rizzo says 5 times. 5 times we beat those Aravos. And the question is, why? Why do we do such a crazy thing? And don't get me wrong, I'm not denigrating. There's a holy custom of the Jewish people. There's even an opinion that you say a bracha on the beating on the Aravos. We don't paskin like that. But the Rambam writes that this custom goes all the way back to the Beis Hamikdash, this custom involving Aravos. And there are many mystical, deeper teachings about this. The simplest idea is perhaps that's related to rain. The Arava is thirsty for rain. And so we focus on the Arava. We are also thirsty for rain. We're so needy before Kadosh Baruch Hu. But still, what's the idea behind beating the Arava specifically? That's what I want to focus on. And in order to answer this question, I need to tell you a story. It's a Shlomo story. Just like most of Shlomo stories answer our deepest questions in life. Hopefully this one will enlighten us. The story is told about the Chose Melublin. The Heilige Chose Melublin. He could see from one end of the world to the other. He could see everything because he guarded his eyes and only put them in Torah. And when you only put your eyes towards Torah, you can see deep and far. Gewalt, but the holy Chose Melublin, he had long hair, and he needed to cut it before the holy holiday. But his barber had passed away, and he needed a holy barber to cut his holy hair. The thing is, to cut the hair of the Heilige Chose Melublin is not a simple thing. So they went to one barber, and he started cutting his hair, and the Chose started screaming, ah, it hurt. It mamish hurt. Apparently the barber wasn't quite holy enough. And so the next barber went to the mikvah, but still, it hurt so much. And the next guy is mamish doing tshuva for a week, but still, when he got to the hair of the Heilige Chose, it just wasn't doable. So now the Hasidim of the Chayzer, they're looking all around town, and there's no barbers left in all of Lublin, and it's a big town. Until finally they see at the edge of the town, there's this little hippie guy playing a guitar, and he has a little sign that says, "We'll play music or cut hair for $5," or something like that. And they say, listen, we don't have much of a choice. He doesn't really look like the holiest roller, but he's our last shot. So they bring him in, and Gevalt, he takes that scissors, and he mamish cuts the hair. And the Chayze is just like, I'm in Gan Eden. Amazing, Gevalt, what a holy barber. So the Hasidim now, they know this guy's super holy. And they mamish want to find out, what is his secret? What makes him so special? So they ask him, and of course he says, nah, nothing. I'm just a regular guy. But they make sure that they keep their eye on him. They send some spies, and come Simchas Torah. They are watching him, and he has a l'chaim or two by the dancing. And they come over after he's a little bit, flying from the l'chaim. And they say, no, tell us the truth. What makes you so holy? So he says, Gevalt, I'll tell you the truth. And he lifts up his shirt, and there's a huge red scar. Whoa. And they say, holy barber, what happened? So he says, I'll tell you the story. You see, I was walking down one day, playing my guitar, doing my haircut, and I see that the Russian police were beating a poor Yid, a poor Jew, and all of his family is watching him, and they can see that he's an innocent man, but someone had stolen something, and in those days when someone stole something, you just blame a Jew sometimes. You beat him, and then the case closed. And so it didn't look like this Yid had much left to live. And the holy barber says to himself, Gavald, he's got 7 children and a wife. I'm just a single guy. I'll take the hit. He says, listen, Heilige Czarist, Russian police, it was me. I stole whatever you needed me to steal. And they say, all right, we got the thief. And they let the other guy go. And they start beating him. Beating him, beating him, beating him. Until he comes to a point where it seems as though he's going to die. And he looks up to Hashem and says, Hashem, you know I did this for you. But wouldn't it be so sweet if I could live? And he falls unconscious. And he wakes up. And he says, Gevalt, I'm alive, I'm alive. And from then on in, Imamish felt like he had a different neshama. He says, maybe if I ever did anything in my life, maybe that's why I was zoiche to cut the hair of the Heilige Choyze Milublin. And Shlomo ends the story saying, of course we need the tzaddikim, the choyzes, who are learning Torah all day and doing mitzvahs. But we also need the simple Jews to be ready to take the hit, to be moser nefesh for the Jewish people. That too is a holy, holy madriga of holiness. So the whole sukkahs we've been talking about, the eteroikim, the lulav, the beautiful Jews who are doing Torah and mitzvahs, who are learning Torah all day, doing chesed. But what about the Aravos? The Midrash says the Arava represents a simple Jew that doesn't have smell, that doesn't have taste, doesn't have mitzvahs, doesn't have Torah. But inside the Yid, they are willing to be moser nefesh, they're willing to sacrifice themselves for the holy Torah, to do the mitzvahs. And perhaps that's what we're saying when we beat those Aravos. We're saying, Hashem, in the schus of the holy Yidin, perhaps the Chayalim of our generation, all those people are willing to give up everything, even if they're not so full of Torah and mitzvahs. In their schus, may you save us. So just to end off, the Nativa Shalom teaches us that a day shouldn't go by in which you're not moser nefesh in some way to overcome your Yetzer Hara. Any day that you don't do that isn't a real day. So you don't necessarily have to take a beating. Baruch Hashem, we live in good times when we're at peace, hopefully, most of the time. But we can be moser nefesh in other ways. Maybe it's just to daven, to wake up for davening. Maybe it's to daven. Maybe it's a smile when you're not in the mood to give someone they need a hug. Maybe it's when you don't really feel like it. Whatever it is, everyone knows what their struggles are. And every day we all know we have struggles and opportunities to overcome Mesiras Nefesh or to give in to our bad habits. This Hoshana Rabbah, may we take up ourselves a willingness to be moser nefesh for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Harachaman yakim lanu ez tavirano vaed. Harachamanu yakim lanu ez tavirano vaed. Raise the roof. Harachamanu yakim lanu ez tavirano vaed. Harachamanu yakim lanu. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, send it to someone else who will enjoy it. Special thanks to our best friend in the world, Eliakim. If you want him back, you should send me a WhatsApp. Bring that guy back. And we can't wait to continue learning Torah with you here at the Simcha Center in Yerushalayim.